Was that considered in the application by Judge Gomez?
I did not see. He did not make reference to that in the opinion. We did talk about that during the course of the hearing. We put on evidence, and the key to this really are lower lease rates. With lower lease rates, a driver is no longer has a driver is more willing to take a short ride with a lower lease rate. They're more willing to do what they want to do because they like being taxi cab drivers. But when they're paying $800 or $900 a week, then they have to kind of hang on and look for that big long fare from downtown out to the airport, and it really causes erosion of the level of cab service throughout the metro area. So that
this really having the lower basic weekly cost changes the character of the way cab service is delivered, and that even if somebody it's only a short trip, but it's a necessary one, the driver is more likely to accept it rather than just going on.
That's true. So if I offer you just the lowest amount of money we was talking about with a mile high, in a weekly base, and are you willing to take that, or you just won't be on a road for covering that $800 or $900 a month, a weekly base? So by taking, just that's a low fare, you can have a more quality life you want to have. Life is too short. You cannot, spend all of your time by running around. And then you have to just work on yourself, get your family times, and have a fun. And that's part of your life. There is a dream of everybody to just have a fun and live in a longer life and a better life than just running on a daily basis to cover, just for the expense of the other company.
So Judge Gomez has made a recommendation to the Public Utilities Commission to deny this application. What happens from here?
Well, the legal process is that we filed something called exceptions. Essentially, it's an appeal of his decision to the three commissioners. The next stage is that the commissioners themselves make a decision. They will hear our argument, they will hear counter-arguments by the interveners, and then they'll make a decision, and they'll look at any other parts of the file that may exist. If there's been other, public commentary or that sort of thing, they'll consider that.
And in these kinds of cases, how often do the three members go along with the recommendation they've received, and how often is it that they say, well, that's one view that came from our administrative law judge, but we find differently?
Well, the honest truth is it's hard to predict. They've only let one cab company in the last 16 years, so it's a little difficult to say. However, in my exceptions, which, again, we have mounted at milehighcab.com, you see that the same arguments that the Commission made with regard to Union Taxi when they allowed them to operate, I think apply in our case. And so if they rule consistently with how they ruled in Union Taxi, then I'm optimistic that we get a favorable outcome from the commissioners.
And the drivers who would be members of Mile High Cab and driving for Mile High Cab, are they currently employed by the existing companies in the metro area?
Yes, most of them, yes. Or I can say all of them. They just employ with all the other taxi operating around the metro area, yes.
Who drives cabs in the Denver metro area?
Everyone. Most of people just come from outside of the United States and immigrated to this country.
Mm-hmm. So it is a way for people who have come to the United States to be productive in this society and launch their families here and move on to become Americans.
That's true.
How hard is it? I mean, Hassan, what is your personal experience?
It is a lot. When you just come to this country, you have a dream of just being, here, and then put yourself in education and put yourself on the ladder up, and then have a family and just have a good life with your family, and have a friend and spend a good time with your friend. And there is a lot of dream, but when it come down, just to life, some of the dreams kind of shuddering by, just working a long hour, and it's kind of just a difficulty of life, just putting on a road to fulfill the dream you or I dreamed when I came to this country.
We've only got a couple minutes left. I have kind of sensed that driving a cab, I don't know if it's actually dangerous or not, but the idea that you don't know who's getting into your cab at any time would create a certain amount of anxiety.
That's true. Everything is a risk. Sometimes you take a risk, and nothing easy. You have to struggle to make a life. So it's not only driving a taxi is a risk job. Everything is a risk. So nothing different than the other one. So of course, yes, sometimes being on a road with someone you don't know and who is behind you is a more risk, but it is part of a life.
Mm-hmm. Tom, what's the time frame that you anticipate in terms of this working its way to a conclusion?
Well, we don't have a clear sense of that. The PUC has suggested that they would make a decision this fall, but we applied on September 11, 2008. We had our hearings a year ago. We expected a decision last November, and we didn't get that actually until the middle of July. So we hope that it'll be a quick decision. We have 150 owners of this cooperative who didn't borrow a dime, put in their own money and capital in the middle of a recession to form a company, and we're hoping for a quick decision.
Thanks very much. Hassan, thanks for being here. Tom Russell, thanks for being here. And we will want to keep up with this story.
Thank you very much, Joel, for having us on this morning.
Thank you.
And that'll do it for the Morning Sound Alternative. Or not, that's coming up at 9:30, KGNU's Eclectic Music. But this is it for the Morning Magazine. Coming up next on KGNU is Counterspin from Fairness and Accuracy and Reporting. It's just coming up on 9 o'clock. This is KGNU, Boulder and Denver.